on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment.
Welcome to F3 on 4, and as you can see we're at Silverstone and it's the Summerfest meeting. We're back here at the home of the BRDC for the Green Flag British Formula 3 Championship, the best showcase for new talent that will dominate Formula 1 in the future. And this year's two favourites both had mixed fortunes the last time that we were out at Croft. Martin Haben's got the details.
It all started to go wrong for Antônio Pizzonia on the first lap. Having qualified in 5th, he slid wide at the chicane and Jimmy Bruni collided with him. Later, his recovery was halted by a collision with Warren Carway, letting poleman Takuma Sato take his second victory of the season, Tomas Scheckter close behind. In the scholarship class, Gary Paffett clinched the title to the delight of the Fred Goddard team on the pit wall, 10 straight victories giving Gary a perfect score. No points in the main class for Pizzonia, but he still leads Scheckter by 30. Sato now leaps to first.
So Gary Paffett was crowned champion of the scholarship class at Croft, and now he's ready to receive his award from the president of the BRDC, Jackie Stewart.
And now step this way, the winner, Gary Paffett.
It's amazing. It's two of the most important people in Formula 1, I suppose, the commentary, one of the team owners. It's excellent, and it's a great prize. It's going to help us really for next year.
It's an indication of the fact that if you've got the talent, then you will get the rewards. Jenson Button is in Formula 1 as a result of having done well in Formula 3. And the Power Tour, I think, is just another indication of the fact that if you're in the right place at the right time, you will be successful.
Well, I think he should go to the British Formula 3 Championship, the Green Flag Championship in A class. And then from that point on, he may go to 3000 or he may get lucky enough to go straight to Formula 1. But I think, without doubt, he's going to make Formula 1. Let's all hope so, because British motorsport really is leading the world of British sport in demonstrating that we can do it better than any other country.
So with Gary Paffett dominating the class so totally, his rivals have been rather overshadowed, but they've been having their own battles for second place. And in the last 3 rounds, it was Christian Colombo who came out on top.
The 23-year-old Italian came to Britain after success racing a Ferrari 355.
It's very, very good for finish the champion in second position, because it's my first year in England, first time with a car, first time with a circuit and with a new team.
2 of Christian's strongest challengers from Britain missed out on Silverstone, but the class also boasts drivers from Brazil, Japan and the USA.
It was a real tough season in the opening, but we're starting to come around, and I have a great team, great everything going for me right now.
But it's my first ever year single-seaters full stop, so I've sort of jumped in at the deep end, so I think hopefully next year we'll have a much better run at it. I'd like to think could certainly finish in the top 2, if not win it.
For this second visit to Silverstone, we're back on the international circuit, and I've got one of Britain's most experienced single-seater drivers, Mike Wiles, to tell us a little bit about it. Now, Mike, the last time we were here, John Cullen said that he'd use a soft setup on the rear of the car to help with traction out of the slower corners. How does that affect a very fast corner like Copse?
To be honest, fast corner like Copse, you need a stiff motor car. A driver doesn't need to feel the car roll when he's committing to a blind, flat-out top gear corner.
Now, the other fast, very crucial corner at Silverstone is Bridge, where we are now. How would you take this?
Again, it's flat in a Formula 3 car, it's blind, total commitment from the driver, but it's the exit of Bridge that is really crucial. You can either drive defensively on the way out, staying on the left-hand side of the circuit, or attack the corner by moving to the right, turning into Priaulx. It really depends whether you're under pressure from somebody behind or whether you're trying to get past somebody in front of you.
Thanks, Mike. So now for a driver's eye view of the circuit, and we're going to go and join Tomas Scheckter.
Okay, now you're coming onto the front straight of Silverstone International Circuit. You need a good exit out of this corner. As you can see, this is one of my laps from a race earlier this season. Come past the front straight, look at my pit board on the right. You can see a little bit of dust from some oil. We're going into Cops 146 mile an hour. Light dab on the brake, back on the power hard. A little bit of oversteer there. Then you use a lot of exit curb. Flat into Maggots through 145 mile an hour. Just brake down into third gear. Still some entry oversteer there. Use a little bit of exit curb. Back up the box into fifth gear. At this stage, maybe my pit crew would come back on the radio and tell me my position or the gap between the person behind me and in front of me. We'll go down into farm, brake hard down into second gear. Back on the power hard again, need good traction out of this corner, back up the box into fifth gear, coming through bridge is flat out right-hander. It's also an important corner because you have to line yourself up in for Priaulx, smooth, Priaulx, one gear down into fourth, minimum speed 102 mile an hour, use a lot of inside curb, a lot of exit curb, back down into third gear, hard on the plower. Now you have to remember and control yourself to get a good exit. Didn't get such a good exit there, had a little bit of mid-corner oversteer, still using a lot of exit curb, and you can see I just got rid of one of my tear-offs there. Back onto the front straight, looking at your pit board, hopefully you'll see P1.
Antonio Pizzonia posted his first DNF, did not finish at Croft, and then the same thing happened at the Marlborough Masters in Zandvoort, whilst chief rival Tomas Scheckter came second at Croft and third in Holland. So is there still life in this title race? Qualifying is absolutely crucial, and Martin's got the details.
The Summerfest meeting didn't offer blazing sunshine, but it was warm and the track stayed dry. Antonio Pizzonia, however, could only manage fifth fastest in the first session, improving to second in the afternoon. Fastest in both, and the only man to break into the 1 minute 15s, was the winner from Croft, Takuma Sato.
The circuit was a little bit damp at a couple of the corners, but very cool, very quick.
Tomas Scheckter needed to do well at Silverstone, but was a third of a second off the pace in sixth. By contrast, his teammate was always lying second quickest until pit by Pizzonia at the last minute.
The car is definitely better than what it is, and I guess it suits my driving now, and it's not so bad.
Andrew Kirkcaldy had a wretched time. He missed the first session altogether with a wiring fault and only managed 14th in the afternoon. Vortex Jimmy Bruni equalled his best result of the season, a strong fourth quickest.
It's my best qualifying this season. I hope for tomorrow I won the race, because I want to win the race and finish.
In the scholarship class, life was a little fraught. Christian Colombo spun harmlessly at Abbey, while at Woodcote, Ryan Walker shot off the track on his way to setting third fastest, just beating the Italian. The gravel trap saved the car from too much damage. The surprise of qualifying, however, came from Atsushi Katsumata, who beat Gary Paffett, his first failure of the season.
You must be very pleased. That's the first time you've got pole in the class.
I don't understand. Yeah, very happy. Yeah.
And how's the car?
It's very nice, thank you. Yeah, very nice.
In the championship class, Sato took his third pole position of the year, while Pizzonia was content with second. On row 2, Karthikeyan and Bruni matched their season's best performances, but championship challenger Scheckter struggled in sixth. And in the scholarship class, Paffett displaced from pole for the first time, while Peter Nilsson made sixth on his first outing. Jackie Stewart accompanied His Excellency the High Commissioner for India to the grid, continuing a long-standing association with the subcontinent that saw the Scot open a new racing track in Madras back in '76. The High Commissioner was supporting Narain Karthikeyan, recognising the Stewart driver's popular following back home in India and its significance.
I think everyone does, yes, and also we're very keen to set up a few tracks ourselves, and I think if Narain, the way he goes along, the way he moves along, things will happen in India too on the track, and that's what we are looking forward to.
The last time we were here at Silverstone, Matt Davis collided with Milos Pavlovic's stalled car, bringing out the red flags. And in the restart, Andrew Kirkcaldy and Andy Priaulx collided at Abbey. Find out what happens now in a couple of minutes after the break. Welcome back to F3 on 4 and the 9th round of the green flag British Formula 3 Championship. The lights are about to go green, so we'll go to join Martin for the race.
Cars are on the grid in front of us. The two blue RC Benetton cars, 5th and 7th, Kiesa and Pavlovich. Don't forget, Pavlovich stalled last time at the start at Silverstone. Reds are on, the greens away they go. Oh, and Kiesa stalled this time. Pavlovich gets by him nice and safely. The others should too, riding with Karthikeyan behind Pizzonia and Sato. The second and third place men jockeying for position, but Sato on the racing line all the way from pole position, leads them through and further back. That's Katsumata in the white car, the pole sitter, and he makes contact with Christian Colombo. The scholarship class drivers are both out. Well, there is Karthikeyan behind Pizzonia. Bruni under pressure from Scheckter as they go into Beckett's for the first time, and lots of locking wheels. And there is Pavlovich, he goes off. Katsumata looks okay, shakes his head though. Enzo Buscaglia stalled on the grid, now he finally gets away. The leaders racing down to Abbey, battles on with the Stewart drivers. The yellow car is Davis, goes inside Scheckter for 5th. This is Jimmy Bruni, he challenged Karthikeyan there at Abbey, following him on the run up to Bridge. Very close indeed, this is going to be absolutely flat out, but he just had to lift off the throttle there, or hit the Indian driver up the backside. Andrew Kirkcaldy there in the middle of the field, started 14th, don't forget, just ahead of Gary Paffett. And who else is off? Ryan Walker's in the gravel. And there is Scheckter in 4th place, ahead of Ben Collins, and Matt Davis went up 1 and down 2 as Walker gets out of the car. Have a look again at the start now. Pizzonia and Karthikeyan weaving across the track, jockeying for position. And then further back, the other pole sitter, Katsumata, loses control up by the pit wall, and in his spin takes off Christian Colombo. Warren Carway coming into the pits, minus his right nose wing. More bad luck for the Irish driver there. That's the end of lap 1. Andrew Kirkcaldy we ride with now in 13th place, moved up 1. Look at the suspension moving there. Full suspension movement, that is, in a modern Formula 3 car, about half an inch. Andrew running on a shoestring, really suffered missing that first session with his electrical problem. And here is Pavlovich, the team changing a punctured right rear tyre. Amanda's with Warren Carway.
Warren, what happened?
I got squeezed up onto the curb coming out of Farm and got on the power coming out, and just basically Ryan Walker got up beside me. I moved over because, like, obviously he was going much faster than me, but he just wasn't clearing me when he pulled back across in front of me. He's bent the suspension, bent the front nose, and that's it, basically.
Well, let's see if we can take a look at that. Warren up on the curbs there, exiting Abbey. Walker way over there to the right. The red and white car cuts back in. There goes the winglet, and then, of course, Walker went off at Bridge. Looks like Pavlovich is about ready to go. Kiesa stalled. No points for Pavlovich, who's a lap down. Dreadful day for the team.
It's very obvious from looking at the tyre that he obviously had a collision with somebody which sliced it. Do you know what happened?
I don't know. He did not feel nothing. I think one car touched the tires and cut.
He doesn't know who it was?
No, I don't know. No information, sorry.
Well, that supporter with the flags lost half the Japanese contingent from the race, but one of the Japanese pole sitters is still there, Sato. He led from lights to flag at Croft, no doubt determined to do much the same here at Silverstone. Not a great start to the season, spin at Thruxton, a crash at Alton, but he's coming on much stronger now. Looking at Wesley Barber here in 10th place in the grey car. He's got a long string behind him. Michael Bentwood, the red and white machine, next up. The blue car's Kirkcaldy. Yellow car is Priaulx, under pressure from Kiesa. There's Paffett as well. And it looks as though Barber's got a broken left front nose wing. That will cause him to lose downforce in all the right-hand corners. It should be easy then for them to pass him. They haven't been able to do so far. You can see his wing dangling about there. But it looked as though Bentwood was lining him up through the corner. The red and white car moves right. So does Kirkcaldy on the extreme right-hand side of the picture. And a battle on the left as well between the yellow and blue cars. That's Priaulx and Kiesa. Kirkcaldy gets past Bentwood. Kiesa nearly touches Priaulx, but well controlled by both men. He spins the wheels on the curb, and that gives Paffett a chance to launch past in a challenge. There are the first two. Where's Karthikeyan? Oh, he's still there, thank goodness. A long way back. And here's the blue car of Kirkcaldy trying to go around the outside of Wesley Barber at Abbey. Michael Bentwood in there in the mix as well. He wants that place back. And Amanda's in the pits.
Christian, what happened?
In the first corner, he touched with Katsumata and out. Problem with the start because in front of me the RSC I think Pavlovic or Kiesa is not a start. I brake. When I arrive in the first corner, Katsumata is inside and he touched with me. No.
Back with this bunch bottled up behind Barber. There's Priaulx trying a move on Bentwood. Doesn't work there. Kiesa's right behind him. Bentwood and Kirkcaldy go right. Oh, and Bentwood swings to the left-hand side. They're going to sandwich Barber between them. Yes, they do. And Michael Bentwood had the better run down there. Gets ahead of Andrew Kirkcaldy. Both of them get past Wesley Barber. And Kiesa gets past Priaulx as well under braking. So a lot of shuffling up there. Now let's see how quickly they can leave Wesley Barber behind. Gary Paffett still on the back of that train, but look at this, Barber still quick in a straight line and having the temerity to try and get his place back from Kirkcaldy there. Didn't quite work, and Kiesa trying to go around the outside. No room on the exit there. He'd be over the curbs and in the gravel if he tried it. Up at the front of the field, Karthikeyan laps Enzo Buscaglia, who stalled on the grid. Gianmaria Bruni right behind him. Then Tomas Scheckter next up, 3rd, 4th and 5th place. It's not going to be much good for Schecter's championship challenge. He really needs to get a shake on here if he can. But he's only made up 1 place on the grid so far, and that's just because Kiesa stalled. There is Kirkcaldy, 11th place. Bentwood ahead of him, and Kiesa right behind. Stalled on pole position at Croft in round 2, did Kiesa, and here again at Silverstone. And there into the pits goes Wesley Barber. That takes him out of the fray. He did a very good job with just 1 nose wing, though, I have to say. Sato leading comfortably. Pizzonia behind him, but a 2.5 seconds behind. The Japanese not even looking in his mirrors since the start of the race, I'm sure, just romping away from all the opposition. The Manor Motorsport team changing Wesley Barber's nose cone. That's Pizzonia's team, of course. Gianmaria Lopez started the season in this car. Wesley Barber started at Alan Docking Racing, and when the Argentine ran out of money, he moved over to Manor. Karthikeyan holding off Bruni, but for how much longer, I wonder? Scheckter still not able to get on the tail of the Fortec Motorsport car. Riding down into bridge with Karthikeyan, under pressure. Let's see if he makes the apex. He does, so Bruni wasn't challenging there, and he is all over the back of the Indian driver. Riding now with Gianmaria, Karthikeyan defending at Priory and again at Brooklands, going to the apex very early. That makes him slower than Bruni, who can afford to use the full width of the road, and now he gets inside at Luffield. Great move from Bruni. Karthikeyan, I don't think would have been expecting that. He tried to stay up by the apex, but Bruni was with him, and it's wheel to wheel, accelerating hard past the pits. This is great aggressive driving from Gianmaria Bruni. Karthikeyan gives him a couple of little shakes of the steering just to try and unsettle him, but Bruni's not having any of it. Gets by. Karthikeyan gets the wrong gear in tops, and Scheckter breezes by him as well. Well, no need for Karthikeyan to pull over and allow Scheckter to go by to gain more championship points. The South African driver took advantage of that mistake by the Indian when he was under extreme pressure from Bruni. And suddenly Scheckter is alight because he's right up behind the Italian driver, and he may make a move for 3rd place now. Bruni will have the inside line at Abbey, but Scheckter chops to it now. Bruni's defending well, riding again with Karthikeyan. Bruni and Scheckter ahead of him, and they may well ease away. Well, let's have a look again at how this all started. Karthikeyan leading Bruni into bridge last lap. The fast line, as Mike Wiles pointed out, is on the extreme right of the track here. Karthikeyan on the extreme left on the inside. That allows Bruni to get ever closer. Again, Karthikeyan compromises the line in Brooklands, and that allows Bruni to get a run on him. Now, Karthikeyan just understeers wide at Luffield, allows Bruni to get his nose inside, and from then on, it's a straight drag race for the best part of a mile to the braking area at Copse. Karthikeyan gives it everything he's got. A couple of little weaves over towards Bruni, but not enough to put him off. With Bruni's teammate here, this is Michael Bentwood being passed by Kiesa. Kiesa, of course, stalling on the grid. Gets past the other red and white Fortec car, picks up another spot. While Kiesa, of course, 5th on the grid, 10th, not what he would have hoped for, but better than nothing. He will at least get points for that place. Bentwood in 11th place. A couple of good results early in the season, but his form either seems to have deteriorated or everybody else has just got better. Well, one man who has got better is Trevor Carlin's young charge, Takuma Sato. Carlin in line for yet another win this season. This will be the 4th for the team, the 3rd for Sato. Here he is, in amongst the back markers. No need to rush any moves here. Pizzonia a couple of seconds back. 56 is Peter Nielsen, 17th in his first race. Enzo Buscaglia there, being passed by Pizzonia. Pizzonia maybe still with a chance of victory, but Sato, I'm sure, has got something in hand as he sweeps past Nielsen. Quite some speed differential there. I think that's just confidence in the car's cornering and braking ability. Pizzonia next up. Bruni in third, Scheckter in fourth, a long way behind, no sign of them. There's Karthikeyan in fifth. This is Ben Collins in sixth place, won for Carlin Motorsport at Donington Park earlier in the season. The team's still watching the monitors as the laps tick away. Trevor Carlin looking contented, and so are the rest of them. And so they should do. No bigger smile, I don't think, though, than on the face of Takuma Sato, if and when he sees the checkered flag to win his third race of the season. Mercurial young driver, always very aggressive. This is perhaps the smoothest race we've seen from him because he's led it all the way, and he can always look to him for fireworks and excitement. He's got a great future, no doubt about it. Checkered flag waves for Takuma Sato at Silverstone. Win at number 3 in his inaugural British Formula 3 championship year, and a dominant victory it was. Third place for Bruni, didn't get the win he wanted. Fourth place for Scheckter, didn't get the points he needed to close down Pizzonia's championship lead. Now Amanda is in the pits with Trevor Carlin.
Well, Trevor, many congratulations. You must be delighted again for Takuma.
Yeah, chuffed a bit, chuffed a bit. Perfect weekend. And Ben's 6th place as well, so good weekend for the team.
Now, can you explain to me, Ben is a former F3 winner, why there's such a huge gap between the two of them? Have they got equal cars?
They're exactly the same, identical. So Takuma's very good, he likes the circuit, so I don't know the exact problem, but we're working on it all the time.
There's nothing to do with the fact that he's sponsored by Honda.
Not at all, not at all.
As earlier in the season, Takuma Sato wins again at Silverstone by a second and a half from Pizzonia. They were the class of the field, miles clear of Bruni, Scheckter, Karthikeyan and Collins. Gary Paffett won the scholarship class from Mayle, Nielsen and Biscaglia.
Well, today it's very hot, so very hard for tires. A couple of laps I did really 100% push, but after that have to, keep quiet.
Sometimes you want to push, but you have to hold yourself because you have to think about the championship. But anyway, it was good for the team, good for me as well, and we are really happy.
It must be very nice when you actually watch yourself passing a Stewart.
Yeah, for you, but not for me, because stay inside, him closes the door, and it's very dangerous. But in the end of the day, now stay third, and it's good.
Pizzonia is now 35 points clear of Scheckter with 48 to race for. Sato easing away from a close battle for fourth. Scholarship class champion Gary Paffett again scored maximum points, while Mark Mayle jumped from 8th to 6th position with a fine result.
So with just 3 races remaining, Antônio Pizzonia must be feeling more confident about claiming this season's championship title. Mike, what did you think?
I think it's great that Antonio got some points today. He's under pressure, and it's good to see how he handles that pressure for when he gets into Formula 1.
Thanks, Mike. Well, the Power Tour package next appears at Snetterton, and you can see all the action from there next week on F3 on 4.
For more information on F3 on 4, check out the Channel 4 motoring website at 4car.co.uk. Into the African wilderness with a close-up on the jackal next.
Sport on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment.